Okay, but real quick, I have no idea what a... Yeah, we listen to Kanye's new song. A member... Okay, so a neo-Nazi is basically a member of the Nazi party. Alright, we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. Yo, shout out Tyler Oliveira. This guy makes good videos. This guy makes good videos, but I've never seen this, so here we are. Neo means new. Okay, okay, okay. Here we are. Germany. This is close to Belgium. You gotta be careful, Simba. This is close to Belgium.
Immigrants are in Germany to make Germany an Islamic state.
In 2023, foreigners made up 15% of Germany's population, but accounted for 41% of all violent crime suspects, with 75% of the victims being Germans. As Germany is the third largest host of refugees, hosting over 2.5 million refugees.
Who's the first largest host of refugees? I'm assuming America, Canada, Germany? Oh, Turkey. Damn. Oh my god, this is actually something new. Turkey's first, Iran second, and then Germany. Damn. Okay. I was not expecting this.
With almost half of all Germans believing refugees are no longer welcome, placing their hopes and their votes in the nationalist anti-immigrant...
What are refugees? So, like, let's say you want to escape the war. Like, let's say Belgium and Poland were at war. When Polish people travel to, like, America, they become refugees because they're seeking asylum. Right? But I'll get you a better description, because I don't even know if that's true. What is a refugee? This... A person who has been forced to leave their country in order to escape war, prosecution, or natural disaster. No, immigrants is something else. Immigrants is something else. A refugee is like you're forced to leave the country and seek asylum somewhere else. An immigrant is someone who chooses. A person who comes to live permanently in a foreign country. So like my parents are immigrants because they left Poland to come to Canada. That's an immigrant. Right? A refugee is like if Poland and Germany had war and then my parents left to come to Canada. That would be a refugee. That's the difference. An immigrant is you choose, a refugee is like you're forced.
Right AFD party, causing them to win a regional election in the state of Thuringia and to make history as the first far-right political party to win in Germany since the Nazis in World War II.
Oh my god.
Germany first.
They're fucking fascists.
Fascists?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's happened? What I'm seeing right now is like the party that won wants to like remove refugees, and then there's people that are here. So the same party that won is the same party that was ran by like Adolf in them.
It became a beast, and we're not really able to stop it anymore. And people just think about it, how it all went when fascist Germany rose. Yeah, and I'm afraid that it will happen again.
As many Germans believe their national identity is being destroyed, their generosity exploited, their culture degraded, and their country no longer safe as they mass import economic migrants and refugees into their country.
Okay, but look, I'm gonna say this in no bad way, right? But if it comes out as bad, I'm so sorry. What's happened, like, I understand why these people want them to leave is because they're, what do you call it? They're making Germany more unsafe, right? Like, as we saw in the previous clip, the crime rate happens to be 41% refugees attacking Germans, right? That's kind of what they're seeing. So that's why, in my mind, why they want them to leave. Also, racism is in fact, like, it's still a thing, right? So that could be why these people want them to leave. Like, they want the refugees to leave. But the main point I would be pursuing if I wanted the refugees to leave is because they're producing lots of crime, if that makes sense, right? It won't happen again. NATO. Yes, NATO is a big part, but I mean, you gotta understand, like, it didn't stop, like, it could still happen. Germany has alliances. I don't think Germany's a part of NATO, or like they're banned from being a part of NATO because of World War II, right? But I do believe that what do you call it? If Germany wanted to, like, once again, it's the same with like Russia, North Korea being allies and shit, right? Like they could actually take over, but they just choose not to, if that makes sense. And I feel like if war happens now between like one of the major countries like Russia, Canada, USA, especially USA, right? It would still be it would be nuclear. I feel if war happens now, it's chemical, nuclear, and cyber, right? Like they'll just shut down power. Like China's hackers would like shut down all of US power, right? And that would actually fuck up the country. Like people don't understand how big of an issue that might be. France is still here, sadly, but to help us if Germany gets other ideas again. I mean, Belgium's part of NATO, no? So you would get help from like Poland and everything. Like when Russia and Ukraine were, I'm pretty sure they're still at war, but when a bomb hit Poland and killed 2 farmers, like there was a whole NATO meeting whether or not to start World War III against Russia, right? Like that was also a thing.
Other Germans are fearful they're witnessing the rise of the Fourth Reich, as AfD politicians were caught meeting with neo-Nazi activists discussing their master plan.
I think we were one of the first countries to enter in what, World War or NATO? I think Poland was the first. I think it all happened because of Poland, right? But I'm not too sure. We'll do a history class after.
From their country, causing mass protests across Germany, calling for a complete ban of what is now Germany's second strongest party, labeling them and their supporters neo-Nazis.
The AfD regularly
Oh no,
rejects
it was European
accusations of
Union.
extremism, but the
I'm
BBC
switching
has
them.
found clear links between significant party figures.
There's only one Islam, and this is what is dangerous for Europe, and it's not at all compatible to our values. Not at all.
I believe all religions are same, and there should be, brotherhood.
Listen, as much as I agree with that lady that all religions are like, okay, they're not the same. They're not the same. We have to put it this way. They're not the same, right? No religion is the same as the other. Everyone believes in something different, right? But I do believe that they shouldn't hate on one another. But then you have the religion extremists, which then cause issues around I don't want to say around the world, but like, extremists in anything just cause problems, right? So that's kind of what we're seeing here. I'm sorry if I'm not being like politically correct. I'm not PR trained.
Pegida, an organization opposed to mass migration and the Islamization of the West, with a counter protest organized by Antifa right next door. What does the liberal city of Berlin think about the migrants in Germany? And
this is also the last video of the day.
Right. Where are you from?
Man, I don't care if you're purple or red or white. Exactly. At the end of the day, I really don't give a fuck what you are. Right? As long as you're not causing me an issue, I don't have a problem with you. That's literally it. That's my standing on things. If you don't cause me an issue, I don't have an issue with you. That's it. If you cause me an issue, now we have an issue. You know? That's what I live by.
Came here for work?
No, I'm a student.
Was it difficult to come to school here?
No, of course not.
Easy?
Yeah, so much.
Do you think Germany is letting too many immigrants in?
Yeah.
Yeah? What are your thoughts on the AfD party?
Oh, this is very bad for the foreign people. Very, very bad.
Tell me your thoughts on that.
This is really, you feel that they are very racist and they are so radical. For Germany, it's not good. And this is so bad image for Germany.
I'm from Thuringia, so...
Okay, so that's where they won the election.
Yeah, that's right.
Were you happy that day or unhappy?
No, nobody in my friend circle or family circle was happy about it. And the rise of the populist parties is a big problem, not even in Thuringia, but the whole of Europe, I would say.
Too many immigrants here?
Yeah.
Do you think you're a hypocrite for thinking that?
No, I don't think so.
Are you the exception?
No, I guess no.
I'm coming here from Tunisia for 30 years, and Germany, it's changed now, yes? They changed so they don't like foreign people, but on the same time, they need a worker. This is a big problem for maybe the government, because they accepting a lot of refugee, but the refugee, why? Because they have no language. But if you say 2 years, you stay here and you get money and you don't work, this is a big lose for the country.
I think they are a little bit racist.
Why do you think the alt-right and the AfD is on the rise?
Migration. I think people Germans and so getting annoyed by migration.
It's a populist party. It's a party that just doesn't really have any politics or any real plans for Germany. That's my opinion, at least.
Sure.
And they use not only scapegoats, it's just what populism does, just quick answers to complex questions.
According to Google, 14% of the population right now in Germany is immigrant population or of immigrant background.
I think it's higher.
Higher? Let's call it 14 or higher.
Yeah.
Germany immigrants made up of 18% of 2022 population. Some 15.3 million people in Germany, just under 1 in 5 nationwide, immigrant there at some point in their lives. According to new government statistics for 2022, almost 5 million more were born to migrant parents. I mean, I don't see, like, listen, I'm not an economist. I'm not an economist. I don't know the word, right? Like someone who deals with the economy. Right? I don't know how, if this benefits the economy, if it's worse for the economy. If anyone's watching this video, please let me know, right? But I don't necessarily see it in such a bad way. The only thing that kind of crosses my mind that it's bad for the economy is the crime rate. If they come in and they bring more crime in, that's an issue. You know, you want to make every place a safe place, right? This is actually crazy. We learned this in geography. What, the immigrants in Germany?
And roughly 40% of the crimes are committed by that 14%. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, see, like, look, right,
14 or higher, and roughly...
Look, while foreigners make up about 15% of Germany's population, they account for 41% of all crimes in 2023. That's the issue. That right here, for me, is the issue. If they cause 2%, I don't think it would be such an issue. But the fact that they cause 41%, that's very bad. That's very bad, especially because they only make up 18%. If Belgium didn't have immigration and stuff, we would actually be losing population instead of gaining. I mean, that's in every country, in all honesty. Like in Japan, or like in lots of European countries, they want young people to immigrate to them, and they offer them money as an incentive nowadays, right? Like, you could go to Italy and get paid, like, I don't know, 80k, 100k euro just from traveling to Italy and living there for like 5 years, and then 20,000 for each kid, right? Like, it's actually crazy. In Switzerland, you can do it. Like, I might move to Switzerland by all means, right? Like, I'm trying to get out of Canada as fast as possible.
40% of the crimes are committed by that 14%. Why do you think that is? And is that a reason for concern?
Well, that still leaves 60% of crime.
Didn't they sell houses for €1 in
so
Italy? I think they did. I think they actually did.
By numbers, it's more local people, let's call it that. I mean, of course, it's a cause of concern, but I don't think the cause of concern or the answer is shutting out immigrants.
They're a populist right-wing party that are trying to destroy our democracy.
Okay, tell me more.
Most importantly, I think they threaten to undermine the trust that people have in our democratic institutions, especially young people. I'm very concerned about that, especially with the recent studies done on like the Shell Jugendstudie and stuff where...
Wait, I blanked out. I'm sorry, chat. I blanked out. I was not listening.
Trying to destroy our democracy.
Okay, tell me more.
Immigrants.
They're a populist right-wing party that are trying to destroy our democracy.
Okay, tell me more.
Most importantly, I think they threaten to undermine the trust that people have in our democratic institutions, especially young people. I'm very concerned about that, especially with the recent studies done on like the Shell Jugendstudie and stuff, where we see already the very negative effects that populism has had on their outlook on democracy and the future.
Do you think Germany has an obligation to bring in...
The German accent is so noticeable here. I mean, people say I have an accent, man. Like, when I worked at my pizza shop, people said I have an accent. I was like, what are you talking about? Right? Like, people said I have an accent. They're like, where are you from? I was like, what?
Refugees.
I think Germany has an obligation as any Western rich country.
What are your thoughts on immigration here in Germany?
I think it's less of a problem than we make it look sometimes. I think there are great opportunities in immigration, but I also think that we need to be careful in how we approach it because the topic is already so partially poisoned in public discourse.
Do you think immigrants have an obligation to build and uplift their own community rather than leaving and fleeing to countries like Germany, let's say?
That's an obligation for politics.
Listen, okay, I'm gonna say this. When this guy asked the question about leaving their own country, I think everyone has a privilege to do what they want. Okay? If you want to run around naked, you can run around naked, right? Let's just put it that way, right? You have the privilege of doing what you want. If people want to leave the country they were born in and move to another country, they have every right to do so. The thing that they don't have a right is to move to that new country and then all of a sudden, you know, cause issues in that new country that you wouldn't do back home because the crimes, for example, or like the punishment for those crimes would be more noticeable. Oh yes, please stop. I'm not running around naked on Twitch. I'd get banned. I would get banned so quick.
And politicians, politics, of course, that's something.
The elephant trunk is just swaying back and forth. Sorry.
Where are you from?
I'm from Iran.
How do you like Germany?
I love it. I love Berlin, not the whole Germany.
Where have you been treated differently here in Germany?
In Rostock.
What was the experience?
They were like, you're not welcome here. You're not one of us. Like, what are you doing here? And then it made me go crazy because I found myself being aggressive like around people, and I was like, hey, it's not me, but yeah, it changed me.
And does Muslim culture integrate well into Germany from what you've seen?
No. It's important to say it's because of German country.
German's fault?
It's not a thing of fault, but it's I think it's one of those things.
Does Germany have an obligation to change and modify themselves to accommodate them, or vice versa?
I would say neither. I think cultures, and we can see, for example, in the UK. The UK is a way more integrated or diverse culture.
I hear many people call...
I'm also say this. If you immigrant to a country, you do not have the right to force the country to change for your beliefs, right? Like, let's say, for example, Poland is a Christian country, right? Poland's a Christian country, Catholic country, right? And then let's say, for example, we have Buddhist people come over and now they want to all of a sudden change Poland into a Buddhist country. You don't have that right. I'll tell you this, you do not have that right. Obviously, your religion should be respected, right? You should have a place of worship for your religion in that country, but don't try to force your beliefs on an already existing beliefs country, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense, okay? And I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, right? So, like, please just let me know if I say anything wrong. Especially, bro, this is what I've been trying to say. No, it makes so much sense. Like, lots of people, when they travel, they want to change the country to, like, force them into their needs, right? Like, let's say, like, again, Poland, Buddhist country, for example. Like, you don't have the right to change Poland to a Buddhist country. If you do, then the Polish community would personally hate you. But if you're a Buddhist in Poland and you don't try to be like, oh, I need Poland to be a Buddhist country in order to live here, right? You just go about your day and you practice your religion like every other person, you're not going to get any hate, right? It just turns to the extremist parties again, where they want to change an already pre-built country. That's the same with me, like, being a Christian and going to a Muslim country and being like, no, now this country has to be a Christian country, right? It doesn't work like that.
Call them racist and they're undermining democracy?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so too, yeah.
Why do you think they're gaining popularity right now?
Because they provide easy solutions for difficult problems, but the solutions are not really that simple.
You see, in Germany we don't have so big problems. We are a rich country with many people, but for me, we come from South Germany. The world is okay.
Life is good.
The life is good, yeah.
At the end of the day,
Oh my god, not this shit again!
Smell the flowers. Life is good. Germany, I see no fentanyl addicts, no trash cans on fire.
That's true. Europe is very clean. Europe is very good with providing housing and everything, right? In Canada, you won't see this. You go to Toronto, you see crackheads everywhere. Every corner you turn, you see a crackhead, right? Which is why I want to move to Europe, right?
Peaceful, let's be honest.
One day, chat, one day, I'll be streaming in
major
Poland.
U.S. cities here in Germany.
See, look.
Anything's possible.
Before I go to Dresden, I headed to Erfurt in the state of Thuringia, where the AfD won the state's elections after receiving.
Yeah, I want to see him talk to someone who agrees with this party.
So supportive of the AfD.
But listen, I'll say this much. Them refusing to bring in more refugees makes sense because the refugees itself are providing 41% of, like, the crime rate. That's the only thing I could get behind them, like, not coming in, is because they're providing 41% of the crime rate. If they had 2% of the crime rate, right? Yes, bad apples are in every basket, right? If they were providing 2% of the crime rate, I would not have an issue with them coming in. They don't try to change the culture to the point where, oh, now we have to become a non-Christian country, right? And they provide 2% of the crime rate. There's no issue there, right? But once you try to change things that have already been working for years and now you're upping levels of crime, that's the only reason I could see me getting behind something like this. Belgium is just a mini Germany, I'm gonna be honest. Does Belgium have big immigration? Like, does Belgium have big immigration? Or what?
Are their feelings towards mass immigration much different than the more liberal international city of Berlin we just talked to? What does the public think here out in the city?
Yes, okay.
Excuse me. Do you know about AFD? Good or bad?
Bad.
Bad?
Yeah, he's against all the refugees.
Okay. Why did you guys come here to Germany?
We came here to live with all people, to look for safety and to have good life, but AFD is against all of this.
Okay. What did you guys flee? The war?
I came because of the war in my country.
You guys have family here too?
No, they are trying to come also. Okay. Yeah. Now, what will happen for all the refugees will happen to us.
Okay, you're concerned about getting deported back home?
I don't know, maybe.
All right. Thank you for the sticker. Goodbye. Well, he gives a sticker. Protect the trans kids. And
I think there's more Moroccans and Turkish people in Belgium, in Brussels. I mean, look, I could really care less who comes there, right? As long as they don't cause issues, they don't go up on the crime rate, and you know that it shouldn't matter who comes, right? By all means, people come over, right? Come enjoy the country. Go live a better life. If you think moving countries is gonna give you, no, I didn't say I care. No. I know you said you didn't say you care. I'm not saying you said you care. I'm just saying in general, right? Like, it don't matter who comes over, right? As long as you're not trying to change something, come enjoy the country. If you think moving countries is gonna provide you a better life, you can obviously come and you know, think or maybe even succeed in this country, right? By all means, do whatever, but don't try to up the crime rate. Don't start doing some chaotic shit. Don't try to start changing stuff, right? I feel like I'm just repeating myself. But no, I know exactly what you mean. But Moroccans and Turkish people moved to Belgium. I'm actually very surprised about the Turkish people.
Fight fascism.
I mean, the Moroccans. I feel like Morocco's a very beautiful country.
Very complex discussion, and I think it's there are many things, factors playing into it. But I think it's not the AFD is not the solution at all. It is anti-democratic.
Oh, where are you guys from?
India.
Morocco. India? Okay. How long have you guys been here?
We got a
in
Moroccan.
Germany?
2 months. 1 year.
1 year.
1 year. Why did you guys come here to Germany?
Actually, I'm doing an Ausbildung in here in Germany. Better future. I want to earn money.
Better future. See, that's what everyone wants to do.
I'm here in Germany for my Ausbildung.
Like if I move to Europe, I'm moving to Europe for a better life. I'm not moving to Europe just to move to Europe, enjoy Europe. Nah, I'm moving to Europe to try to have a better life.
And I'm here for making my future better.
What are your thoughts on their anti-immigrant sentiment?
We need them. My generation is not enough to fill all the work we can offer. So our population shrinks, and we will not be able to fill in a sufficient workforce.
What are your thoughts on AFD? Okay, you're smiling. Any thoughts?
I don't have any interest in this. I just live my life.
I'm going to New York because I don't know actually. See, but that's the issue. If you go to New York, you have to have a plan, right? Like, lots of people will move countries and not have a plan. Like, look, if you move to New York, you have to have a plan. Like, oh, am I going to open up a business? Am I going to New York for schooling? Am I going to New York for just to enjoy New York, right? Like, you actually have to move to New York to actually have a plan, right? Like, if everything doesn't work out, I'm moving to Poland because I know it's just going to be easier for me to do everything I want to do, right? When I'm rich, I mean. Well, that makes more sense, right? That makes more sense. I'm talking about, like, right now, if you were to move to New York, you have to move to New York with a plan, right?
See, like, everything is normal here. Everything is convenience. Everyone are doing what they like, and I'm also enjoying it.
How would you rate Germany on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you guys happy here? Give me a number.
8.
How would you rate India?
According to Germany,
compared to Germany.
Compared to Germany, actually, I would rate it like 6.
Okay. Statistics would say that 40% of the crime is being perpetrated by those of immigrant background. Is that a concerning problem to you, or is that overblown?
I think it's a problem with the segregation at hand. If I would have to flee my country out of actual fear of being and then put into basically camps and would not be allowed to work, perhaps I would also search for work, but not so much on the legal side of things. Yeah,
that could also make sense. This guy brought up a big point. This guy actually brought up a big point. I actually had no idea this could have been a thing, right? That when they come over, they're put into like a housing unit, right? And they're not being able to like find jobs or whatever. Like, that makes more sense. You got to find money. You got to put food on the table, right? This makes a bit more sense why they're kind of more up on the crime rate. But if they could find jobs, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you want to find a job, you can find a job, right? It's not that hard, right? So sometimes I feel like it might be a bit over proportion. But then we have to get through this video. We're only 10 minutes in, and I felt like I yapped for like 2 hours.
Assault, for instance, wouldn't fall.
All right, no more pausing till mid-video.
No, definitely not.
Do you think things like that are a cultural difference, or no? Or just bad apples exist in every bunch, things happen?
Some things are cultural, but I wouldn't say that, yeah, we should not put everyone, which we are doing right now politically, everyone into the same cup.
I'll also give 8.5 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I'm doing what I like. Anything I'm doing, if I want it, I'm doing it. No one is here to stop me until unless I'm not doing anything wrong.
What about the motherland?
It's always my love. It will be always more than 10.
Then why are you not in India? It's a 10 and this is an 8.5. I can't believe you now.
No, the thing is, like, main problem in India is population. We don't have too much of employment there. Yeah, too much of employment. We cannot earn that much money that we earn here. I'll have sufficient money with me, then I'll go back to India, do something on my own. I won't be living up far away from my family. Yeah, family is more important than money, I know. But I'm giving this time to myself to earn money. Then later on, I'll see what I can do.
You're gonna leave as well at some point, or would you stay here permanently?
I plan to stay here for a long time, aber ja. Ja, ich wähle auch die AfD, weil ich habe nicht.
Okay, so this guy agrees with the party. I have nothing against foreigners, for God's sakes, but when your own Germany is being exploited like that, something has to change here now.
Weil auf jeden Fall, ich mache meine Sache, ich mache meine Aufgabe. Wir alle Deutsche hier, wir sind gleich, alle Männer sind gleich
We're all
überall.
the
Es
same,
gibt keinen Unterschied,
there's no difference, whether you're German or not. The problem is you really have to study hard here.
Erstmal die Sprache,
First of all, the
in dieses
language.
Land integrieren kann, weißt du, muss man das machen.
you have
Ich
to
auch,
do
ich
that.
habe die gleiche Idee, was hat mein Kollege gesagt jetzt. Für mich, Marokko ist mein Land, ich lebe in Marokko wirklich, ich habe viel gelernt in Marokko. Die Nummer, ich gebe Deutschland 3.
Do you think
gives
many
Germany a
refugees
3.
coming here are actually just economic migrants using the term refugee to come here? And
Sometimes, but yeah, for me it's not the highest part.
Deutschland versus India.
I would love to stay here, but my motherland is India, as you also
I see.
know.
So you'll come here, make some money, and then go home?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then why did he go here? Because look, in India, right, the issue being is India is overpopulated, so there's not enough jobs, not enough opportunity to make money, which makes complete sense. These people obviously love their home nation, right? Like, I love Poland so much, right? But the reason I'm here is because obviously I was born here, my parents moved here, right? I kind of just grew up here, right? Will I move out of Canada? Yes, but when I move out of Canada, I look for a better future. For example, housing issue in Canada, that's a big issue, that's a big factor. Job stability, that's also a big factor, right? They don't pay they pay well, but they don't pay too well, right? Especially, and then taxes is also a big issue. When I work for my money, I get more than 50% taxed on everything, right? I pay tax on literally a bottle of water at the store. I get taxed on my pay, I get taxed on my hours, I get taxed on everything, right? So there's not enough there's opportunity to make money here, of course, but there's not enough opportunity for the young generation to make money here, if that makes sense. They're just trying to take everything away, and everything becomes more expensive. Less money, more expensive. Like, housing, like, prices of Canada goes like this while the income goes like this, right? And it crosses. He was the Moroccan guy. Well, I'm assuming the same thing in Morocco, right? The income in Morocco is not the greatest, right? So in Germany, your income is more likely to be higher, right? You get better, like, Germany's a rich country. You get better houses, right? Like, think about the average Moroccan house and then the average German house, right? It's just, the German house is obviously just going to be nicer because it's a more rich country,
which lies on its workforce. So if that's shrinking, sure, we will lose financially, and we will fall back in the international race.
The question is, at what cost?
Well,
how much is a dollar worth, right?
Yes, and
what will be the social consequences of mass immigration to a country?
These very questions are what troubles the AfD, as the foreigners that make up 15% of Germany's population account for 41% of violent crime in 2023, although some believe acknowledging these statistics is a gateway to racism and xenophobia. I headed to Dresden's town square, formerly named after Adolf Hitler during World War II, to talk to protesters on both sides of this debate.
So, this is the song that the alt-right has made their mantra. Excuse me, can I interview you? Interview? Deutsch? What are your thoughts on Pegida?
Pegida, genau. Ich gehe zu Pegida.
What are your thoughts on Muslim immigrants in Germany?
Oh, no. Nix, also Islam habe ich nichts am Hut.
I have nothing to do for Islam. It's too hard for me. It's too criminal for me. We don't need it. Nobody really needs it. We are Christian and we want to stay that way. We want to keep our culture and not be different.
Thank you. What are your thoughts on the movement?
Germany for Germany.
It's a bad idea. We have to have more peace in the world. I don't like the wars. You have the same problem like in Holland.
Yeah.
And like France. There are too many.
I believe all religions are same and there should be, brotherhood in all of them.
You union and peace.
Yeah.
Good, bad, neutral. What do you think?
I think it's so they are against Muslim, etc.
Against the Islamicization of Germany.
Of course, I'm against because I'm an Erasmus student. I'm an exchange student, so and I come from France.
Okay.
And in France there is also a rise of the right extremists.
The alt-rights.
Yeah, the far right.
And now we are getting back to fighting each other due to religious reasons, and that's just stupid. Has quite a bit of refugees.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot, and I'm proud of.
I think they're afraid they're gonna change Germany into like a Muslim country, right? But I really don't see that happening, right? I really don't see that happening. Maybe like the population itself might be more of a Muslim population, but I feel like Germany in a whole will just remain a Christian country. Same with Poland, right? Even if there's more immigration, like more Muslims in Poland or Buddhists in Poland, Poland will still itself remain a Christian country.
Of refugees coming to Germany.
You think this is a form of neo-Nazism?
Not yet, but quite close.
Okay. Can I interview you? Okay.
I like your videos.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're talking about Pegida?
Exactly.
I think that's it's good because my point of view is, especially here in Germany, that we have a big problem with my.
I'm not a belief guy, but I get what they mean. Listen, Simba. If I have to tell you something, become a belief guy. Because believe in something, man. Believe in something, because it'll reduce stress in your life. It'll just help you in the long run. Trust me. You don't have to take my advice in this, but trust me, it will help you a lot, right? Just find a belief, study beliefs, and then just pick a path, right? Being atheist is just not the way, in my opinion. But I'm not here to force anything, right? Let me just put it this way. I'm not here to force anything.
Migration. I mean, Germany has taken the most of these people. I think since 2015, around 3 million. That's a good question. I mean, that's maybe a historical issue because, the past of Germany was
I'm not atheist. You're not atheist. So what do you mean I'm not a belief guy?
Is it out of kindness? What do you think?
No, I don't think so.
I took belief as like you don't believe in religion.
It's a benefit, but the negative points are bigger than the benefits that we have now today. In the past months, we had a lot of kills from Syrian or Afghanistan people, from immigrants that we give shelter.
There should not be any fight between the religions. People are here for roaming. That should not affect them.
The immigrants are in Germany to make Germany an Islamic state. Muslims come from all over the world and say, this is now our land.
Okay.
And it cannot be. Muslims should go away. Now Syria says there is no more war. The people from all over should come back to Syria.
Tell me what they believe in and why they're fascists in your opinion.
They want to get rid of immigrants, of people that fled war, that fled shitty situations without any real reason besides being extremist.
I see. Many of them have told me the war's over in Syria, now it's time to go back home. Do you agree with that idea, or is that too harsh?
I mean, think about the US with the melting pot thing, and and it's the same. We should be more welcoming, and that's not the way to do it, just getting rid of them. It became a beast, and we're not really able to stop it anymore, and people think that it's okay. But just think about it, how it all went when fascist Germany...
I mean, I completely understand what Germany's like the problem that Germany has. I completely understand what the problem that Germany has, right? But I feel like the way how they're trying to solve it is not the solution. A pantheist, what does that mean? A pantheist.
Rose. Yeah, and I'm afraid that it will happen again.
And do you think Islam is compatible with German values and German culture?
I mean, it's monotheist, so they believe in one God like we do, and it's a welcoming religion in my opinion, so I don't see anything wrong with it's comparable in my opinion.
But after hearing the public's perspective of Pegida, I met up with the controversial founder himself, Lutz Bachmann. Tell me about your role in Pegida, who you are, backstory.
I've been basically the founder of Pegida. I'm one of two founders. We founded 10 years ago. On the day, 10 years ago, on this day, 20th of October 2014, we had our first rally here in Dresden. Okay. It's this kind of demonstration is going to be the last one.
What does Pegida mean? What is the reason for the movement here?
A pantheist is someone who doesn't care whether God exists or not. It's a combination of apathy and theism. Unlike an atheist who believes there's no God, or an agnostic who says we can't know for sure. An atheist simply finds the whole question irrelevant or unimportant to their life. In short, an atheist isn't a religion, they're just not interested in it. Would you like a short comparison? I don't need a short comparison, but I feel like that's just an atheist is someone who doesn't care whether or not God exists or not. But I feel like that's the same with like an atheist, no? Like an atheist, like I'm not trying to like hate on anything, right? I'm not trying to hate on anything, but I feel like an apathist is just like the same thing as an atheist? No? Like, what's actually the difference? Atheist believes there's no God. Apathist doesn't care if there's a God, right? But those two and two go hand in hand, right? Like, they go hand in hand. I don't really see a difference. All right, let's see what this geezer's yapping about first off.
Yeah.
It actually all started over, as the name already tells you, Pegida means Patriotic Europeans Against Islamization of the West. We are fighting 10 years now against Islamization, which is taking over all over Europe. But in the meantime, in these 10 years, there came more themes and more themes. We are now fighting against these crazy genderism, and as well, we're fighting against, for the freedom of speech and stuff like that.
What concerns you about Islam?
You just need to look in the world. I think Islam is like mid-age ideology. You see, there's no space between government and Quran. So Sharia law.
Separation of religion and state?
Separation. Okay. And the problem is, it's not just these maybe 10,000...
I feel like the extremists are actually just giving Islam like a bad rep, right? I feel like all of this is just unnecessary. I understand exactly like what's happening, like what the extremists are doing, and I understand exactly what Germany's doing, right? But I feel like all of this is just too much, right? Like, not too much, but it's unneeded. That's the word. It's just unneeded. Right, you got one side that believes in something, you got another side that believes in something. The two and two, they don't necessarily go hand in hand, but they should just show respect for each other, and that's it. Right, like I don't think the Islamic community is coming in to try to change Germany into a Muslim state. Like, I don't think that's exactly what they're doing. I think they're just coming there to honestly look for a better life. That's what I see it. Right, I'm not German. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Right, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking. Right, like they just come for a better life, right? Germany's a more rich country than probably where everyone else came from. That Germany has better opportunity, that's why they come here. And then these people are afraid, like, oh, they're gonna change us in a way. Like, they're not.
Crazy Islamists, they are running around. And what the problem is, if they behead somebody, the normal Muslim is standing and watching it because he can't do anything, because his book, the Quran, tells him it's right. Like,
see, but look, that's an issue. That's an issue. Like, they shouldn't go in there trying to change their own laws, if that makes sense, right? Like, that right there in itself is an issue.
They had all the unbelievers and stuff like that. So they're actually not allowed to fight themselves against the crazy ones. The UK, I always say, it's 10 years in front of us. Okay. You see what's happening there. Churches becoming mosques and stuff like that. And every government, they already have their people in the right positions, and they obviously take over. You see it all over Europe. And this is what we were fighting from the beginning. We wanted to stop that.
Do you think Islam and Western values are compatible?
Not at all. This is what I think. There's even the head of the Muslim Council in Germany. It's called Ayman Maziek, this guy. This is basically the highest Muslim in Germany. Okay. Even himself, he says there's only one Islam. There's not like the press and the media telling us there's a moderate Islam and there's one really Islamist. And even the head says, no, there's only one Islam. And this is what is dangerous for Europe. And it's not at all compatible to our values. Not at all. Okay. So there's a German politician who has been saying in the 60s or 70s, what he says, you don't save Calcutta. If you bring whole Calcutta to your country, then your country becomes Calcutta.
I see. Do you think their culture will replace German culture?
Exactly. They call it integration. But integration for me is a big lie. Because integration, when you see the word, means that you integrate somebody and he brings a bit of his to your culture. I prefer what we call assimilation. When they come here, they need to assimilate to our culture. Then they are welcome. I don't mind people from Syria, from Afghanistan or wherever. I don't care at all about skin colors. You can't do anything about it. You've been born white or yellow or black or whatever. But they have to assimilate to our culture, to our values, and to everything.
And what are your thoughts to some of these counter-protesters who may say you're like racist, neo-Nazi?
Okay, I agree to a certain extent. I agree that, yes, they should assimilate to their culture, but I don't think forcing them to change, like, religion is something that should be done. Which I don't think, like, I don't know, right? I don't know if that's what he meant by a certain into culture, but I feel like they should not change their religion in a way, right? Like, you're born something, you believe in a god of, like, they believe in their god, right? Germany believes in their god, right? So I don't think they should necessarily force them to change religion, but definitely not, like, force them in a way to just abide by the laws of Germany, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense here.
Nazi, xenophobic, those sorts of things.
I always ask him, give me one proof that I'm racist. I've even got my best man for my wedding is a Turkish guy. He's Muslim. I've got so many friends, black friends from everywhere.
Okay, secret question. Was the photo of you as Hitler doctored? Is that Photoshop?
Yeah, it was Photoshop. Even the press brought, maybe 2 months after, one of these journalists, he actually had to prove in court, and he lost the case. And there was, the picture is real, but the beard was Photoshopped from them.
And at this current rate, what will Europe look like in 50 years, in your opinion?
No, I wish I had like a glass ball to look in the future. I wish, but I think things will change. There will be like the mainstream would call it a right-wing revolution. I call it the normal people will take over again.
Any conflict we should predict or what?
Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the show.
Okay, amazing. Thanks for your time.
I'd be like, go on down the road, you fuck.
Oh yeah.
If you want to support our booth,
I already see this. Yep, no free promo, buddy. Come on now. Let's see what's going on.
Antisemitisch. Es ist gegen alle Menschen, die den Leuten da drüben nicht ins Bild passen. Es ist einfach nur zum Schämen.
Noch viel lauter sein müssen. Menschen, die hierher kommen, haben es verdient, dass wir sie integrieren und nicht, dass wir sie
Where are the police
pauschal
going?
an die Grenzen abweisen oder ihnen nur noch Butterbrot und Seife zur Verfügung stellen.
Also, Fake News, wieder wird es weitergehen, aber wir machen ein neues Projekt. So, und damit die erste hier auf der Bühne, Angelika Barbe.
Herzlichen Dank und ich danke allen, die hierher gekommen sind. Wir versammeln uns hier heute, weil wir alle zum Grundgesetz stehen und weil sie uns das Grundgesetz aushebeln.
Is that a Polish flag?
Das akzeptiere ich nicht. Wer sich zu Pegida bekannte, wurde ausgepfiffen, wurde ausgegrenzt, dessen Existenz wurde in Frage gestellt. Denken wir nur an Sigmar Gabriel, SPD, der Pegida als Pack bezeichnet hat. Oder Özdemir, der uns als Mischpoker bezeichnet hat. Oder jetzt habe ich gerade gelesen, das wusste ich gar nicht, er hat sogar im Bayerischen Rundfunk gesagt, das sind Nazi-Schweine, denen das Demokratieverständnis fehlt.
Ich danke euch wirklich sehr, dass ihr heute hier seid. Macht doch mal richtig laut. Da hinten kommt auch gerade die Zubringer-Demo, die werden wir gleich richtig laut begrüßen. Und dann zeigen wir heute noch ein allerletztes Mal, Pegida ist over, Bachmann, go home.
Das haben dann die Medien weiter zerstört. Sie haben ein Ossi-Bild geliefert als Spalter, als
Why do they got like war music in the background?
Leute, die hier demonstrieren. Und später dann als rechte Nazis. Und wir erinnern uns an die DDR, da hieß es auch, wer nicht für uns ist, ist gegen uns. Und wer gegen uns ist, ist gegen den Weltfrieden. Jetzt müssen wir schon für den Weltkrieg sein. Das wollen wir aber nicht.
Ich möchte heute, Domian, ihr habt alle mitbekommen vom Gericht, was Panzerträger über den Mund gekehrt wurde, ich also unter Bewährung schwere.
I can't read this fast, guys. I'm kind of lost. They're just speaking German. Simba, do you understand this? Do you somewhat understand what they're saying?
Die Gegendemo da hinten, ne? Klatscht doch mal richtig und macht mal richtig laut. Die kommt gerade mit richtig vielen
Oh,
Leuten.
bet. Damn. I don't understand nothing, man.
While Lutz's extensive criminal background prior to his role as an activist has caused the mainstream media to attempt to invalidate the message and concerns of his that have resonated with tens of thousands of protesters across Germany since 2015, Lutz's ideas have now entered the mainstream political conversation as the AfD continues to grow in power. Today, however, is officially Pegida's final rally, and Antifa is there to counter-protest.
I mean, you can clearly tell between the two people, right, that, like, these are the protesters. I'm assuming these are protesters or what? I don't know, but you can tell exactly what group is exactly protesting against.
We're here, we got the Pegida protest, and we got the protest of the Pegida protest. Both sides are pissed off, but the question is why?
I saw a Polish flag.
Liebe Freunde, Pegida war immer Freiheit und Tradition irgendetwas bedeuten. Und wir wären doch erstickt in diesen Jahren, hätte Pegida nicht das Fenster aufgestoßen, hätte Pegida das Fenster
Polish flag.
nicht aufgestoßen. Wenn ihr es einseht, bitte. Unsere Flagge, unsere Ruhe, die Karte.
Damn, I see a lot of countries' flags here.
Zeige Trommel, zeige Schreier. Danke. Dann könnt ihr eine andere Demo machen, bitte. Aber aus Respekt unserer Arbeit gegenüber bitte ich euch drum, diesen Mist heute zu lassen. Danke.
We keep getting asked if we're left wing or right wing. People are very quick to throw us in a partisan bucket here. What are your thoughts on Pegida?
They're fascists.
Fascists?
Yeah.
Are they Nazis?
Totally, yes.
Okay, what are the main problems you have with Pegida?
Actually, you can hear it all in just the name. They're like patriotic European people against Muslims.
Okay.
So, yeah, and all their banners and flags also show their opinion, like the Reichsflagge, which was used by the Kaiserreich and by the Nazis.
What if they said like, yo, we just want the borders to be safe and less immigrants? Is that cool or no?
That's not cool. No. They are coming from places where there's war or bad economy, so you can't live there. And everybody has the right to have a peaceful life.
I think it's important for society that they support basic human rights, that everyone can live on this planet, but they say things about people that's not okay. If people need to go from their home place, it's never pretty. And if there's war, they should have the right to seek.
I'm so confused why these people are so scared to show their face. I'm very confused. Right? Like, you're protesting, you're doing something. Like, I don't know why you're so scared to show your face.
Some place where they're safe.
Some of them have said that they're economic migrants and the war's over and they should go back. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think that. When they're integrated in this society, they have work, they've started a family here, I think they should have the right to stay in Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
And what is the group you guys represent on this side of the barriers here?
We present Antifa, anti-fascists. We are against them, and we fight for human rights, basic human rights. And
well, they're racist, they're almost fascist, they endorse fascist parties. We already had this in Germany, and we don't really want that again. It really didn't work out for us. Like, this was completely destroyed, and we kind of don't want it here again.
So you see parallels between this and Nazi Germany?
Yeah, definitely. Like, they're, of course, anti-Semitic, extremists. It all started kind of small, but I sadly don't think you can call that small anymore.
How many people?
As our counter says, it's 3,200 sort of.
Are you proud?
I'm happy, yeah. I'm happy with this, and I think it's going to be a good finish today. And for the new projects, it's already a good start.
What are your thoughts on Muslim immigrants?
Wait, so did this guy win the protest? Like, did this guy, no, like not win the protest, but did this guy win the election? Like, is he elected?
Have come here to Germany.
With Muslims, my personal opinion, all is a question of quantity.
Okay.
Personally, I know I have Muslim friends, no problem.
Sure.
But it's a different culture, it's a different aspect of life, and especially with Islamization, it's in the quantity, it's becoming a real big problem. Look, I'm German. It used to be that you are German because your ancestors are German, right? So I was born in Belgium, and already 40 years ago, you could see the transformation of Brussels because of people from Morocco and Algeria, and you can see the transformation. And it's a different style of life.
Okay.
And so that for me was clear. And then that in
Belgium. Obviously, Belgium. Come on now.
Germany also, it happened, especially after 2015, when Merkel didn't close the borders.
They convey national and fascistic thoughts, want to split Germany into like ethnic Germans.
I see. They want an ethno state?
Yeah, more or less. You know, they're against Islamization, so it's also about religion, but it's mostly about skin color and heritage.
Is nationalism a bad thing?
I would say yes.
Yeah. She said, if I had closed the border, because all the Secret Service and all the police, state police and so said, yes, we can close the border. She didn't want to have the bad pictures. Soldiers and police at the border with guns pointing at immigrants and saying, you don't come in. I would say in the USA, all over the place, New York Times, would have been, there comes again the Nazis.
Why do you think that is? Why have you guys been labeled fascists and neo-Nazis, that sort of thing?
Right. The short version
I think it's also because of the media. Look, I don't know exactly what's happening. Like, we did just see the video. But in all honesty, the media does spin a lot of things, right? So, then again, the media can call these guys neo-Nazis. They can call them whatever, right? In their mind, they don't seem that way. Obviously, people on the other side of these guys, they think they're fascist. And the people on the other side think these people are mentally ill, right? But, I mean, at the end of the day, the media does spin a lot of things, right? So you don't necessarily know who to trust. So obviously, if you ever do have a situation like this, you obviously have to do your own research and figure shit out.
This is the most easiest way to blame someone, a group of people, political party.
Okay.
It's, you're a Nazi, you're out.
Sure. Do you think the German people are trying to compensate for their ancestors and being a Nazi and that sort of thing?
That is the core issue.
We should think of ourselves not just as Germans, we should think as Europeans.
Okay,
or as well, yeah, especially with like modern problems like climate change, we should think bigger than just national states.
The doses makes the poison. It's a question of quantity. As it's done right now, it doesn't work. If it's coming more and more majoritarian, you have conflict.
Immigration itself is a good thing. I would say, you know, it gives a lot of opportunities to Germany, for example, a lot of different viewpoints.
Okay, I feel like these guys are just yapping. Look, at the end of the day, the only issue I see in Germany is that when they do come in, they produce most of the crime. That's literally the only issue I see in Germany. Other than that, I don't see any issue if they come in and there's a problem. I really do not see an issue like that, right? But if you're producing crime rate, like if crime rate is going up because the refugees are coming in, that's an issue, right? But if they come in and they produce less crime rate, right? And they're just there to, you know, better their lives or whatever, there's no issue at the end of the day. That's literally it.